Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I am here today as a representative of the speaker from the opposition team. And today, I stand here opposing today's motion. That is, that political dynasties bring more harm than good to democracy. I will state firmly here and now that this House opposes and does not agree with this motion. Now, is it even logical to ask why? Our political dynasties are the reason we're still standing here, we're still grounded, we're still at peace, and not engulfed in the sea of flames and fire of anarchy. There's a reason why everything is still going so smoothly. And one of the reasons is because of the existence of these political dynasties. And clearly, that alone says a lot about their importance to us, about their importance to the country. Now, of course, there are flaws in their system or in these political dynasties. The system that they enforce, possibly, of course, there's some flaws, but can't we say that there are way more positive impact? There's more positive impact and benefits that they bring to our country, to their people, than the setbacks that they give? There's way more positives. Just think about it, right? If we remove the political dynasties from our country, from our government, who will sustain us? Who will keep the balance? Who will keep the justice? Who will bring peace? Who will keep the peace even? If not them, right? Well, of course, some people might think, why not we just replace the political dynasties, the toxic people perhaps? Or why don't we just change the political dynasties from one family to another, right? Well, do they even know? Do they even understand that it's not easy to just hire a new family to replace the old family? Do you think it happens all in the blink of an eye? Of course not. Because one of the major facts, one of the most clear evidence is that these families from these political dynasties, they are mostly using the experience that each generation had with another. They're using experience. That's the key on how to keep everything balanced. Each generation passes down their knowledge to the next generation, and they teach each other how to work in politics and the government. They're the ones who teach and pass down the knowledge and even improve the knowledge, all for the sake of balance. They have strict rules, and most of them are to keep consistency, right? It's the consistency that they have. And not only that, but the existence of political dynasties is that we can benefit from their ties, from their connections with corporations, with other people, because as we know, political dynasties have been here for quite a while, and throughout their history, some, if not many, in many generations in that political dynasty, they've connected with other people, they've made ties, and thus they have a lot of wealth and resources. And guess what? They share it with their people, with the country. How so? They benefit us by giving us faster construction, so we have more buildings, and these buildings can be used for more slots in work and possibly even used for education for people to live in. And they also play a huge part actually in economy, in basically the betterment of everyone's lives, because that's their goal, that's their entire goal from the very beginning. May that be through, as I said earlier, education, money, job, place, anything you can think of. They're all doing this for basically investing for the country. They want everyone to have a better life as well. This is to ensure that everything stays in place intact and everyone is much more at peace. To sum it all up, really, to sum up from the very beginning of what I said till now, is that we need their consistency, their experience, their capability in keeping this balance, this peace. And of course, all of this combined that they have, all of their skills combined, are what makes the country better. And as they evolve, the country will also evolve. And that's not to say that, of course, back to my previous statement as well, maybe there are some flaws, some bad people in their family, but not everyone is like that. Not every single person in those families, in those political dynasties, are selfish, corrupt, money laundering manipulators. Not everyone. And for a fact that most of them, most of them have done more good than bad for their people, for their countries. That being said, these political dynasties, going back to the motion as well, they don't even hurt the democracies of the people. How? Well, because these political dynasties were chosen by the people through democracy. In fact, people would vote on which family should stay, and the political dynasties on who to maintain the policies, the politics, basically their rules and stuff like that. They're always choosing, and they're always putting in their votes there on who they think should keep as the families. And so far, there hasn't been a huge complaint, because most of them are doing really well at sustaining our countries, right? And that also being said, since the citizens are always putting in their voice in their democracy, they choose who's in power. They're choosing who gets that strength from that position. And that alone speaks volume, because that means if the people are democratizing, if the people are using democracy to choose these political families, that means these political families, their existence alone strengthens democracy in the country. Therefore, this motion is completely nonsensical, because political families, in fact, from what I've said from the beginning till now, they in fact strengthen democracies, not harm them in any way, shape, or form. And thus, that's why I believe that I, myself, and this House strongly oppose this motion, because of all the points said above. Thank you very much.